From the corners of the internet to the wave signals transmitting through your brain, you are now sinking into All Aware. Preparing transmission signals. Stand by.
Silent scan.
Broadcasting off the grid in Central Texas. This is the All Aware Podcast.
Thank you.
Please stand by for your host, Nathan Roshawn.
Hey, and welcome to All Aware. I am Nathan Roshawn, and tonight it's March 28th, 2022, and we got a lot of crap going on in the world, a lot of disinformation. What are we supposed to follow? What are we supposed to believe? This is the time when your discernment needs to be at its highest level because there is propaganda being shot at you from all different directions. There is twists and flips and stories. There is fake information being spread, fake news being spread. Basically, anything that you hear in the mainstream is not true. Like 99% of the stuff they spread is not true, or it's a half truth, or it's a spin on what's really going on. They'll deflect and say that it's one side when it's actually the other side doing that. So now is the time. We need to have great discernment. Some of us, and I'd say probably all of us at some point, we got to turn away. We need to shut it off. I just recently went through a period when I did that. I didn't check out 100% like I had liked. I feel I really can't with the stuff that I'm involved in here. So, but I did taper back a lot and just kind of go with my feelings and figure out what's going on from my own perspective, what I think's happening, and listening to my own intuition. And I can tell you that things are slowly getting better. We're kind of in an ebb and flow right now. We are in a digital war. We are in world. It's hard to say world War III, right? We're in WW3. It's an information warfare. It's a digital warfare. It's a war from that's basically collapsing the old guard that was always in charge for hundreds of years, the old families that we've talked about on the podcast that controlled and ran the world and was out for only their benefit. And they found ways to enslave the human population without even us knowing that they did it. So that's collapsing. That's being, we're getting awake. We're becoming more aware and awake of what's going on. And it's causing division. And now there was at one point when this started a few years ago, it was literally censorship, right? It was them trying to control the narrative, and it didn't work. It's collapsing. People were not buying it, or they're just not caring. And either way, it has the same effect to them as not caring or not paying attention. It has the same effect for them. They're not getting their way. There's plans underway to rid these individuals, and it's happening. The war has shifted from going against the patriots and going against free thinkers and those of us who are trying to figure out what's going on and use our own brains. And it's switched to going after factions within their own teams, within governments, within world organizations, because it's gotten to that level. So if you are a normal citizen or resident of a of a country or city or whatever, that's good for you, right? Because that means that it's progressed to a point where we aren't the focus, and we're always the focus because we're the majority, right? Well, the majority is so awake that they have to fight to keep information within their own structures under control. So that's going on, and it's hard to distinguish what is reality from fiction, but there are levels to this war. There is a spiritual side, there is a physical side, and there is a mental / emotional side to this. And it's a three-front war. Physically, there is a front against the physical bodies that inhabit the different countries and of our sovereignty and of our freedom, to enslave us physically, mentally, and emotionally. They are attempting to get control of your emotions and have you follow their reasoning and their agenda, so that that's an easy tactic to control. If you can get somebody to feel for your side or to go for your agenda, you're what's stopping you? And then the last one is a spiritual battle. It's good versus evil. Evil has been in control for hundreds and thousands of years on planet Earth, and it's time for another type of environment, another type of leadership. And it's not going to be the old ways of the world where people were tormented and enslaved and made to feel less than, and basically everyone's working for a very small group of people. You've got billions of people that are working for a few thousand or a few 100,000. That's going to change, and that's what is changing. So as you navigate through what's going on this year, with all the different false flags we've had attacks, specifically on currently Ukraine, right? We have a Ukraine situation going on. Different things are coming out with that. Excuse me. And you don't really know what to believe, where to go, right? What to believe, what to look at in regards to that. Is Russia doing a bad thing? Are they killing and maiming and pilfering villages in Ukraine? Mainstream media would have you believe that, but also look at the videos that they're showing. They're from other conflicts in Beirut and things that happened in the early 2000s. They showed one recently of a bombing that apparently happened, and they were evacuating the village, and whoever the producer was didn't do a good job of hiding the fact that someone in the crowd was wearing a fire suit that was an American town. I believe it said Edmonton on it. So you're going to have stuff like that. So you gotta use discernment in that, because it's nothing is what it appears. I mean, you got President, well, they call him president, right? President Biden. Have you noticed he has not really ever been at the White House? I have and you guys can too. There's a couple people on the ground in Washington, D.C. that record everything that happens. They go out every day. They basically just ride around on bicycles, walk around, and film everything that's going on to keep track of DC. One of them is Penguin 6. Okay, he's there on the ground in Washington, D.C. when he first started recording things going on, he was more of a skeptic, and he didn't believe what all the alternative medias have been discussing about, the false flag on January 6th, about the elections being overturned, or a coup-up happening, and having Biden installed. It's not really Biden; it's the people behind Biden that are really running things, or at least the portrayal is that they are running things. Um, there's another individual. It's Richard, citizen journalist. He's out there running around. He's been more off-site lately, going to different events and activities, sponsored by, you know, the right-wing groups, or not really even right-wing, more like patriot groups. And um, I kind of want to correct that statement, because it's not about right or left or independent or Green Party or any of that. It's about America. It's about your beliefs. It's about your values. It's about how you want your kids raised, how you want to live throughout the rest of your life in your country and in your world. Do you want free travel? I mean, the ability to go anywhere and see whatever. Do you want that opportunity? A lot of people do. A lot of people don't have it because you're trapped in a job, right? A just above broke, you know, or just over broke. Sorry, that's what a lot of people say stands for. Just over broke. You're in a job, um, or you have to take care of family or friends or something like that, and you don't have that ability, or maybe you just want to do things around your neighborhood, go hiking or visit family or whatever, and you don't have that. That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's not how it has to be. It's just the way it has been, because that's how we've been conditioned all of our lives for generations. Um, so your parents, their parents, you get back to their parents, and it was a little bit more freer back then, but it goes back hundreds of years, thousands of years. The enslavement just got worse and worse and worse every generation, um, and now we were at this point where you're gonna have to do something about it. And one thing I think everyone's starting to realize, no matter where you sit on the fence, again, like I said, it's not about what side of the political spectrum you're on. Politics is an illusion, anyways. Everyone has your own opinion. We shouldn't even have political parties. It should just be running on different types of values, morals, or whatever, and they all cross, or they should cross. Let's see, they condensed all the power into two main political parties, at least here in the United States of America, and then they give you the illusion that you can choose one or the other, when they both are controlled by the same people. Now, I will say this: uh, the conservatives, or the Republican Party, tend to be less corrupted, just because of their beliefs. They're usually more religious. They have, conservative religious values, uh, and believe in family. They believe in less government, not no government, but a less controlled government, meaning the people have more of an open way of life, and they control more in their society. So that's a little bit harder to corrupt than, let's say, a liberal. Um, and why, as I'm saying this, keep in mind that the parties have actually flipped. When back in Abraham Lincoln's day, and even all the way up to almost JFK, uh, the parties were opposite of what they are today. Their values, at least what they say their values are, the people that run in these political sides, have flipped 100%. It's a complete 180, a complete 180 turn. Um, And that should tell you something too. You know, I mean, but these parties, you know, it's just it's it's an illusion. Okay, most things that have been set up in front of your eye is an illusion, and the reason it's gotten like that is because we've been checked out. Our, at least here in America, you know, I can only speak for our country, the United States of America, because this is where I've lived and grown up and witnessed the society and culture. I know people in other countries. I have friends in other countries, and I have talked with them, not in a long, long time, but even back when I was in college and stuff, and had friends from all over the world and spoke to them. You still kind of get a gist of their culture and how they are. But from what we have here, um, it's it's the only place left that mm, you know can do anything about what is openly now being discussed about a new world order, a one world government, a one world religion. You see, when you concentrate power, it's harder to break up that power because everything, you know, it's them against us, you know, and um, their resources become a massive, I mean, just enormous, massive. And you know, you don't want that. You think you do. We all were kind of taught we did, or we all kind of think that might be right because then everybody would be taken care of. But yeah, but they'll be taken care of in the way that that governing body sees them to needs to be taken care of. That could mean everyone lives in a 50 by 50 square foot apartment or room and gets a certain amount of food and electricity and water, has to take certain drugs, and has to work a certain position for a certain amount of hours all across the world. Yeah, everyone's taken care of, right? There's not one person on the street, but everybody is enslaved to a specific type of society. Movies have tried to show this all their history, you know. Um, the last one I can think of is The Giver. If you've ever seen The Giver, those people were trying to escape. The lead character were trying to escape a situation like that. From the outside, it looks utopian. It looks amazing. Um, you know, everybody has food and a place to live and social activities and specific jobs that are tailored to their educational level or their tailored to their um, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but basically tailored to their aptitude, what they're able to do. And it all seems well and good. But that 1 second that you try to do something outside of the norm, you don't show up to the lunch cafeteria one day because you're too tired. You decide you want to sleep in. That doesn't happen in those societies. You get penalized. You get taken to a facility or something, you know, to correct your wrong or something like that. That is the type of society that was always envisioned by these ruling elites. Now, when I say ruling elites, I'm not talking necessarily about the names that you know of, the faces that you see on television or that are in government positions or leadership positions. I'm talking about people that are behind the scenes, just like the Wizard of Oz. If you remember the Wizard of Oz, they at the very end or towards the end, they get into the castle or the whatever you want to call the building that the all-seeing Oz was in, right? And they pulled back the curtain, and there's a little douchey dude back there pulling the strings, using the PA, that was in charge of all this. And he was a coward. He was a coward, right? And that's what they are. They're cowards. They don't know how to do anything but hide behind stuff. And that's why they build these elaborate systems, and they build these programs and these societal creations that you look good from the outside, but they found a way to take something good and make it evil. It appears good to you, but on the back end, it's assisting an evil plot or situation. And we're starting to understand that most all wars, at least every single war after World War II, and I would even say World War II was one of them, has been created fictitiously, has been monetized by the same people on both sides, and has been finished, or who has ended because of those certain groups or cabals wanted it to end. Yeah. And you might be asking, well, come on, WW2, you're saying all those Nazis, the Nazis killed all those Jews, millions and millions, and that's not a reason to go to war. Of course, that's a reason to take out people doing something like that to another group of people. That's genocide, and that is the highest crime of any crime in physical existence. But who won? Obviously, it wasn't the good guys, because we are here today, and it's the same people that were behind that are behind it, and some of them literally are still alive. some of the elites, or they're the kids or the children of the elites that were around back then, the same family lines. So I guess I just wanted to go on a little rant today and get this video episode going. I just recently got on Truth Social. I've been on there for about 3 or 4 weeks now. So if you are on Truth Social, you can now find me at Nathan Turner. And I encourage you to do that. And if you do get on there, make sure you ride them Trump trains, the membership trains. Basically, what they're doing now, it's still under a beta kind of testing situation. So everybody's trying to friend everybody else. So when you get on there, you get to a page, you might see somebody say, hey, jump on this train, and they'll list a bunch of names, clickable links that you can click on and follow those people. So let's do this. Let's all become one team here and get on there. And remember, nobody is going to come and save you. I thought that for a little bit. I was hoping that was the case. Probably about 6 or 8 years ago, I just saw it got worse and worse out there. And then I realized nobody coming. We are the ones to save ourselves. We have to step up together. You have to realize that you are your own savior. You are our savior. And if you're religious and you believe in a God, you know that God is not outside of us. He is inside of us. God is part of all of us. We have the God gene in us. So let's go out there and let's be gods. And let's love and spread light and become the world and the society that we want to be, not what others have chosen for us. I thank you for tuning in to All Aware. I am Nathan Roshawn, and if you want to follow me, you can get me on allawarepodcast.com. That's the website. You can get me on iTunes. Just type in All Aware Podcast, subscribe that way. You can go to the YouTube channel, which is actually True Rants Network. Just type that in there, search, and find it. That's that's my production company that does all this stuff. And again, Truth Social at Nathan Turner. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning into this Geo update. love you. God bless. And until next time, you are all aware.